The demonic Satanist ritual Grammy.
I don't care about that. It's interesting what the Grammys are showing is that I've been saying it for a long time. The communications, entertainment, and news industries are in the hands of the leftist, socialist, Nazi bunch. They're trying to control what you think, what information you get, and such Nazi style, fascist propaganda. And Nazi, Nazi, is the German acronym for National Socialist Workers' Party. So that's what you have. You have an American National Socialist Workers' Party known as the Democratic Party, and their methodology is straight up fascist / Nazi. And they're particularly into that tell a lie long enough, loud enough, you can get anyone, including the liar, to believe that that was Joseph Joseph, a.k.a. Joseph Goebbels, Nazi minister of propaganda. And they've been showing it pretty heavily. So, I mean, I'm not surprised at anything that those clowns do, but we know where they're coming from. Mm-hmm. They have a main question they're debating. How much hair can a guy have on his face and still piss in the girl's bathroom? So Grammys are straight up and down that. So, yeah, okay. That's your business. Get your freak on in the bedroom. That's what you have a right to do in the United States of America. But the rest of it, you know, you can't even talk about being straight and doing stuff in an elementary school, but you can spread it all up and down the hallway. So, yeah, the Grammys are reflecting it. It's a whole really little itsy bitsy bunch of people, but they're trying to spread it. And they're trying to build this thing about we have to be concerned about everybody, meaning mostly themselves. But if you get people to buy into letting the country get invaded, breaking down what the Department of Defense / War Department is trying to do, screw up international diplomacy, and save California, New York, etc., 6 to 8 members of Congress in 4 years. Okay, fine, you can do that too if you want, but that's not the way you do it, by censorship and being un-American.
You know what? This is a singer, CeeLo, and he's here with his son. He has red contacts in his eyes. And that's what his son came dressed as.
The devil.
Yeah, so you remember that rock group Kiss and the lead singer? He was kind of...
Yeah, I remember one of the people that worked with me, and when I was union shop steward for SAG, or after rather, at the time, she was the one that invented the Kiss costume. She designed them, and she was the wardrobe person for them.
He's not in a rock band, so I don't understand why he's
making a statement.
And then the father right here, red why does he want his eyes red? See, that is part of that demonic Satanism.
He's trying to be a daywalker like Wesley Snipes in Blade.
Well, you know how people win awards and they get up there and they want to make these political speeches. And of course, it was all about the illegals. And this is Billie Eilish. And she said,
who is Billie Eilish? Is it a she? It's a he or a she?
A she, the girl here. And she's a singer. This is her house, by the way, but I'm going to play what she said.
No one is illegal on stolen land. And yeah, it's just really hard to know what to say and what to do right now. And
well, then don't.
I feel really hopeful in this room, and I feel like we just need to keep fighting and speaking up and protesting, and our voices really do matter, and the people matter. And I say sorry.
She probably said advice, but this is her,
Well, you know what? Tell
her
them what. Why
multi-million
don't
dollar house.
Well, yeah, I've had a few of those too myself. But you know what? Why don't she come out and volunteer to be the target for the next 911? Because her illegals include a whole lot of Al Qaeda, ISIS, and Hamas, and Iran, and North Korea, etc., and all the bad guys that don't have to fly long range aircraft with efficient in air refueling systems to come bomb us. They got a chance for 4 years to walk across the border. So ICE needs to catch them and throw them back. Otherwise, there's no point in having an Air Force, Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, or a Space Force for defense and capacity in war, because you defeat it if you let your borders be insecure. Our whole business has been to secure borders for 230 years. Maybe not like in Europe, where one country that hates another country is right across the little barrier there, 150 yards
Victoria,
away, but same thing.
Victoria in the chat says she made a point there. Well, what was the point?
What the hell was the point, except being an asshole and being a fool with
But
a
Victoria being
namby-pamby
a
cool little
federal
attitude
asshole.
about reality? In addition to depriving Americans of jobs, doing some screwed up stuff to wreck the balance of trade, completely warp what the War Department's trying to do. It's made it unsafe. It's invited the cartels in. A whole lot of sexual offenders who are known sex offenders, but we just don't know where they are now. Some known killers who've been convicted of homicides, they're in here. Some cartel activity is going on. Some big time major drug dealers have been able to cross the border and operate. So, yeah, fine. And I guess you like it. So when you are immune to it and you don't have to travel amongst the regular people, then screw you.
So I want to play a couple more clips. This is, I don't know who this is, Joy Vela, but she weighed in on Nicki Minaj supporting Trump.
I like Trump.
I love Nicki. I've always loved Nicki. Those on the inside knew Nicki was secretly conservative. So when she came out, it was like, the Barbs already knew. I love her. She's the queen for a reason.
Do you think other people in the music industry might follow suit?
I hope they do. I was hoping that there'd be somebody else. I mean, when they see black or brown or ethnic faces, I'm a black Latina woman, speaking out for Trump or, you know, America in general and not being the typical Democrat, it ruffles feathers. So she lost a lot of followers, but she gained a lot more. I'm hoping other people see that and think, okay, you don't have to think like the regular person. You don't have to be black and vote Democrat, Latina and vote Democrat. You can actually think for yourself. I stepped away 9 years ago. I walked away very publicly. Nicki Minaj has walked away, and it's fabulous. I mean, he got voted in for a reason. There are people who support Trump who are not all white people, and it's time America recognized that. Hollywood needs to recognize that.
I tell you one damn thing, MAGA and Trump have prettier women than the other side does. Way prettier.
I don't know who this guy is, but he won an award. I don't know for what though, but he was very excited. Of course, he's part of the rainbow community, and it's not.
Of course,
not wrong with that.
Don't we propagandize them enough?
But listen, he wasn't making it about the illegals. He was making it about, you know, making it. And then another person at the Grammys was supporting Nicki Minaj as well.
I think the ones that should be deported are being deported. To be honest, I'm a Latina. My family came from this country to this country legally. And I love to see rapists, human traffickers deported. I don't want to see them here. I want us to be free for all colors, for all people. Like, that's what makes America great again. So we can create, so we can live. Like, as an artist, as a musician, I want to be able to walk at night and not think that I'm going to get killed by an illegal alien. And so those are the people getting deported, and those are the people that should get deported.
Boom, boom. Okay.
Now, Bad Bunny, who will be performing halftime at the Super Bowl this year.
They've been pushing him, but I've never heard any of his music. I understand it's Latino, but that's nice. But
And he's Puerto Rican.
yeah, Puerto Rico is part of the United States. Incidentally, Puerto Rico and Hawaii have some interesting history that got them into the sphere of the United States of America. It's kind of funny. Uh, the same reasons that brought Hawaii in as a territory of the United States at the turn of the 19th, 20th century, the reasons that were stated in Congress are almost exactly the same reasons that President Trump is stating are sufficient for the United States to try and acquire Greenland. It's interesting.
Well, he won, and he is the first Latino to win Album of the Year. I believe that's what he won. So, but I want to play a little bit of his speech, just the first 30 seconds.
I'm going to say, eyes out. We're not savage, we're not animals, we're not aliens, we are humans, and we are Americans.
Excuse me,
Also,
where did he get that we shit? If he's from Puerto Rico, he's a citizen of the United States. That's ridiculous. And by the way, back to what the first woman who was speaking negatively about ICE was talking about. Puerto Rico is a conquest. 1898, the U.S. and Spain had a little nasty thing going on, and Spain got their asses whipped and handed to them. So that's the way it works. And, you know, yeah, some Native Americans got dispossessed of property. My grandmother was one of those Native Americans, full-fledged. But some of those Native Americans dispossessed other Native Americans. So it's the way humanity has worked. Come in, kick ass, take names, and take over.
Right. So I don't know when he said, you know, he keeps saying we're not animals. Nobody is deporting citizens or people with their proper papers. These are illegals, especially ones that just crossed the border yesterday, and you know, meaning under the Biden administration. And and the people who came here illegally, we're not calling them animals, but the criminals
Not animals, they're just criminals. They broke the law, they trespassed. And you know, America has a long history of dealing nastily with trespassers, and so does everybody else.
Right. So when you have Billie Eilish talking about no one's illegal on stolen land, yes, they are, because that means you lost the war, your land was taken, and it was established under a new law and a new government, and you put borders. That's just how civilization works.
Okay.
It's been working
Hey,
like the beginning of ancient times.
I'm sure the French didn't feel all that gushy and warm when the Wehrmacht and the SS crossed the Belgian border and were sweeping down into France through the Ardennes in 1939, going on 1940. I'm sure they didn't feel that friendly.
Can we go further back to the Romans' time? Because
I'm sure they didn't like the Gauls coming in and the Germans either.
Right, because Roman times wasn't the Rome that we see today. No, Rome was near all of Europe, into Africa, into parts of Asia. That was Rome. So
it was bigger than the United States was until the mid 1960s.
Right.
So, I mean, that's the way Rome worked. Came in, kicked ass,
So Nicki Minaj.
and 2 or 3 generations later, the great grandchildren of the grandchildren became Roman senators and generals in the Roman army.
So Nicki Minaj took to X and she was posting, your favorite artist has been practicing rituals in a satanic cult where they take babies from other countries and mutilate and kill them as a form of a blood sacrifice to their god. You see, when your master is Satan, you must constantly shed blood. However, the jig is up. Well, she would know because that's her industry. And this is the problem what I have with celebrities getting into politics because I'm not a part of them because they didn't want to be bothered with you anymore, blackball for whatever reason. So now you want to spill the beans on the dirty little secrets that you yourself at one point took part in.
Well, it depends. It depends on how somebody got into the industry. One of the smartest people I know got in UCLA as a freshman at 16 years old, drop dead beautiful. She wound up being a movie star, a celebrity. She was there down in the hood when we needed volunteers. Her daddy was a career officer in the United States Army. She didn't set out to be in Hollywood. She gave a roommate a ride to an audition. They saw her and picked her instead of the roommate. So she got in that way, but she's always been wise and focused. I know some of those, quite a few. So it depends on whether you have the typical, hey, oh my God, I finally got that magic part. You got one of those clowns. Or do you have somebody that just says, oh, hey, wow, whatever it is. And they are all right people who are knowledgeable, thoughtful, intelligent, educated, wise, and filled with discernment. Now, that's one type of person. But for the most part, you have to approach it like the Romans did. They can be quite entertaining, but this isn't who you should follow because somebody that's in this for a lifetime has been about fantasy and make believe for most of their adult life or distracting other people from paying close attention to what's going on. So they're not the types that you listen to. Now, that said, I just love watching them gush, don't you? Oh, wow.
She also tweeted, as they do their ritual tonight, God Almighty will reveal himself to them. The ritual will backfire on them. God will not be mocked. Blessed is the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Every tongue that raises up against me in judgment shall be condemned and put to shame. Watch. Okay. So now she is holier than thou.
Who is that?
Nicki Minaj. With the fake fat ass and the blonde hair and the fake titties, and she was twerking and doing everything probably more than what Cardi B was doing in the beginning of her career because she came out before Cardi B. So,
well, maybe that's why she switched politics. She woke up one night in a hot sweat, cold sweat. She had a vision. Okay, I don't know, but oh, Satan is awaiting me. His arms are open. Oh, no, no, no. I saw what it's going to be like. I got to read on Dante's Inferno. That's like the 5th level, way down. Wow. I better do better.
Shabuzi. I guess he's supposed to be a country singer, right? He dedicates his first ever Grammy win to children of immigrants. Now, I believe his background is Nigerian.
That's a part of this. Harvey Mason, thank you so much. I have the greatest team in the world. Thank you so much. And again, the last thing I want to say, immigrants built this country, literally. So this is for them, for all children of immigrants. This is also for those who came to this country in search of better opportunity, to be a part of a nation that promised freedom for all and equal opportunity to everyone willing to work for it. Thank you for bringing your culture, your music, your stories, and your traditions here. You give America color. I love y'all so much. Thank you.
Now, mind you, when we have this Shambuzi person and the Bad Bunnies, both of them have wore dresses on the red carpet. They're both come from immigrant backgrounds, right? And
And they
just
couldn't get away with that from where they're
where
supposed
they
to have
come
a
from,
cultural origin.
exactly.
No.
And then for the record, immigrants did not build this country. Like, stop putting that just on immigrants. They
Well, look at it this way.
contribute, but they did not build it.
Well, technically, everybody that's here is an immigrant. 95,000 years ago, plus or minus, they say that there was a small group that migrated up out of Eastern Africa and spread to the rest of the world. They say that some Scandinavians got here a few hundred years before Columbus did on the white side, and they're immigrants. So there were some that got brought over here involuntarily, and some that couldn't wait to get over here. But, once you get it, you get it, you see. And what he's talking about reminds me, if I can digress, one time about 1994, some clown was trying to explain his excessive shoplifting because it's a free country and he had a right to be happy by claiming property that other people were claiming because the people that originally were claiming it were not treated fairly. All right, so that doesn't work. It's called public peace, dignity, and order. It's undignified, it's BS. It certainly isn't orderly, and it does not promote peace. So anyway, that's got to stop now. All of the meritorious claims that a lot of immigrants can have to contributing largely to this country's well-being, they had to go through and comply with the rules. Just fine. You go in and you enjoy a movie. You didn't sneak in and go through a side door so you didn't have to pay the fare to see the movie. You didn't walk and see 4 or 5 movies once you got in without paying for other tickets. So follow the rules. It's good when you follow the rules. And a lot of the new immigrants who came here legally know more about the country they decided to adopt them than the people who were born here. They have to take classes and pass tests, and they know more about the system, how it works, and what the law is about than most of the people that were born in the place. But when you crash the border, that is not cool, and I don't care what the hell your show circumstances may have been before. You follow the rules, and you don't get here. This isn't just for anybody.
Right.
Now, let's look at some of the people that came in here. Some got brought inappropriately, but they're here. Some of them aren't doing too well as descendants right now. It takes them extra long to get it and how it works. Then there are those, the real Jewish Messiah, Albert Einstein, who came up with absolute positive brilliance on how the universe works, enabled us to build the bomb. And then you have Mr. Brown, Werner von Braun, a good Nazi, but got let in under Operation Paperclip after the war and is responsible for the ballistic missiles and the Mercury, Gemini, and Apollo spacecraft. To an extent, the space shuttle and everything that we have right now flows from what he came up with or brought here. So you have those kind of people. They're Germans, but one's a Nazi and one was Jewish, but they both contributed. We've got good former Mexicans or Mexican descendants. They're great patriots, make great soldiers, great elected officials, writers, all kinds of stuff. We have the same with
I get
those from Hispania.
Yeah,
So
they
yeah,
contribute.
but
They
you just don't
contribute.
let
And it's
anybody in.
right. You just don't let anybody in. It's nothing wrong with, as immigrants. Yes, they have contribute. I would never say they have not contribute, especially, turn of the century, whatever. However, no, you're not going to be labeled as we built this country as if you've done so much for no. And right, you need to be the right person coming in. You need to come in the legal way. So I'm sorry, you don't those 20 plus million people cross the border under the Biden administration. No, you don't belong here.
Well, I heard a very interesting thing about how it was put. It's been 30 some years ago. Somebody said, look here, let me tell you something. He said, there are a whole lot of assholes that we can't do nothing about because they were born here. But other assholes that ain't got in here yet, we can keep them out so we don't have to put up with them.
Exactly. So let's go to Don Lemon, because Don Lemon, he was at the Grammys
No
too.
lemon booty got busted by the feds. I got to let somebody come to some time.
He got why are they standing up for him? Because
Because
he
they are all like him. This is Hollywood.
right.
Why do you think they get this little weak fool standing in for what used to be Walter Cronkite's thing? Or why do you get this? Wise man been shot at, been over there doing war correspondent stuff, and they got this little sissy here with his husband in the background. And this is the industry. This is the communications, entertainment, and news industry. They're all together. They're 5% or less of the country, and they're trying to make everybody think they're the majority of the country. So you go along with their mess. They're trying to convert our children just like mothers do when they want their children to be Christians, Muslims, Jews, Hindus, Buddhists. They take them to church, synagogue, mosque, or temple, and they put that in their heads until when they get mid-elementary school, they are caught up in it and came back out. And that's what they're doing here. They've taken over the school. So mama did it once a week, but they do it 5 days a week from 5 to 18,